read this little summary here.
You're gonna read it in lawyer jargon, or?
Well, it's a summary that, I have the original booklet, it's huge, but anyway, it's a, amendment to the state constitution will be effective January 1st to authorize the legislature by law to prohibit the consideration of any change or improvement made to your real property used for residential purposes to improve the property's resistance to flood damage and determine the assessed value of the property. Okay, so what it means is, if you improve your property to resist flooding, so your property doesn't flood, what would you do? I don't know what you would do.
Let's say you built a brick wall, okay, around your property so that it wouldn't flood.
Or you, make a berm or something.
Well, you could maybe make a possible berm from your swale up that would keep water retention until it got to your home, but basically there really isn't that much you can do. If we get a surge, in other words, you know, flooding, you're talking about storm and stuff like that, and there are a lot of low-lying areas in Pompano and all over the place.
Right.
Actually, Highlands is the highest.
Highlands and Cresting are
The highest line, so it's not, but the thing is, you know, that's what it's about. If you got that, you know, but there's no way to raise your house unless you know, so it's.
So anyway, if you, like Harry said, if you built a wall or berm around your property, it would increase the value of your property.
Right.
So they're saying, okay, you help to, resist flooding, so we're gonna exclude that improvement. So you won't have to pay extra taxes on that improvement.
In other words, the upgrade of your improvement, you won't pay the extra taxes.
Just on the resisting flooding, that's the only maybe. So,
Just
that's
on anything
amendment
you do.
1, both sides are recommending yes to that one. Vote yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm saying both sides, 'cause
Right, yeah.
improves everybody's situation.
There's nothing ventured, nothing lost in that amendment.
Right.
There's nothing, you know, there's nothing to lose.
It's probably more for North Florida than anybody.
It's more for, you know, areas that I don't know, again, if you already got a pre-existing area, you're confined to what you got.
You know who it's for? It's for people who are living on the beach. It's for all those condominiums that are being built along the beach, okay? And then it's gonna allow those people to go ahead and do things that they need to do, so they can tell the people that are looking at apartments, look, we've done this, and it's gone ahead and allowed us not to have to worry about flooding, so you're safe here, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have to pay taxes on anything they did to go ahead and secure their property.
Well, what they're doing anyhow newly on the beach is they're raising the height above the crown road. It used to be 18 inches residentially, you know, around Federal, Dixie, anywhere. You had to be 18 inches above the crown of the road for your foundation. I think now it's 24 inches.
Oh, okay.
But you know, but if you're on the ocean though, you know, Harry, and you get a big storm, the storm surge is a
That's
storm
right.
surge.
6 inches, you can make a difference.
6 inches won't mean
Yeah.
nothing.
Okay, so, here's a little, in plain English. The previous amendment I read, this amendment would prevent property taxes from increasing due to home improvements for flood prevention as a result of climate change.
Right.
Okay, that's another debate. Alright, so amendment 2 proposes an amendment basically to abolish the Constitution Revision Commission, which is something that meets every 20 years. It's really archaic. We don't really need it anymore, cause now you've seen all these petitions to put amendments on. That's really an easier way to do it, so.
Right.
That's just, really just abolishing the, 20-year amendment, what is it called? Constitution Revision Committee, which is scheduled to meet in 2037. So this amendment does not affect the ability to revise or amend the Constitution through citizen initiative or constitutional convention or the Taxation and Budget Reform Commission. So there are gonna be other ways to amend the Constitution. So yes on that one. Then amendment 3 is, an amendment, this one has some debate about it, an amendment to authorize the legislature by general law to grant additional homestead exemption for non-school levies, which means it wouldn't include your school board tax, but those people, they would get a $50,000 exemption if you are a classroom teacher, a law enforcement officer, a correctional officer, a firefighter, emergency medical technician, paramedic, a child welfare service professional, or active duty members of the armed forces. So, how do you guys feel about that one, giving them extra 50,000 exemption?
Well, it's a little debatable because the biggest taxes we have in our homes are gonna be on fire, for teachers, that's the biggest taxes we have.
Well, they're gonna get an exemption, but it doesn't exempt them from full school board tax. So they're gonna get full.
They're gonna get an additional $50,000 homestead exemption,
Right,
except for school taxes.
Right.
Okay, on
Right.
their homestead exemption form. So in other words, if their house is going up double.
Right.
Okay, all right, they get another $50,000 exemption as long as you fall into these categories.
oh,
Okay.
but your wife is a teacher. so-
Yes, but I'll tell you what, I'm not in favor of it, cause I don't think it's right that people should get exemptions based upon what they do, when it doesn't help the entire population.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Okay.
I'm a little bit in agreement with you here because really we all need home in Florida. We're getting killed this year. We're gonna tax wise, we're gonna get slammed. I mean,
Yeah.
beyond, and we're in a recession. People are struggling to make ends meet, and yet we're gonna pay more in property taxes.
Yeah,
I agree. You know what? I believe that it should be open to everybody that in Florida, not just, you know, that hey, people that are struggling should have, you know, a break.
yeah,
What they're not telling you also is when they go through and redo the tax rolls now, my house is worth 4 times as much as it was before.
right,
So what is the tax is gonna be if they sell a house? If I keep the house, it doesn't go up, but a little better a year. But the new houses, the new homes, they're paying fortune for the same square footage I have.
oh, yeah. But when you sell your home, because you've been in it for so long, you get to it's called portability. You get to carry your initial purchase price off the next one, so that,
But the problem is, if I sell my house and I go to another place, I'm gonna be in higher taxes and in the same place. I mean, same size, just a different location.
Right now, it's not advantageous, it's advantageous to sell, but it's not advantageous to buy.
Right.
So it's, you
Wow.
know, if you got some side property, sell, but if you got property, your primary property, you're going to buy another primary property, maybe that's not such a good idea.
All right, so that's the debatable one, yes or no, should these, certain categories of people get another tax exemption? Classroom teachers, law enforcement, firefighters, emergency medical technicians, child welfare service professionals, and active duty military.
And construction owners.
Florida National Guard, so yeah, it is a big group of people. So,
Construction owners too, put us in there,
it's-
put me in there.
So that's your three,
Put me
and
in
then
coach.
there's 2 amendments having to do with the county, there's like strictly, administrative. We passed an amendment in 2018 to abolish our charter review committee, but it's another amendment on this time that just means we're gonna supersede what's on it's just an administrative thing, so you have to vote yes on the 2 county amendments, they're just legalese to straighten out the attorney.
So it's either all yeses or 1 no in
Yeah, all yeses or 1 no.
And you know what, I feel for those in like, I'm like Harry, I feel for it, I just don't know if it's necessarily, you know, I have to debate that one through my own mind, Carollyn.
Yeah,
You know, I'm on the fence on that one.
Cause we all know people that will help, okay? If they ever sell their property.
Well, you know, I just helped, but we just helped a good buddy of mine move that I played football with, and, he retired from BSO, making about $110,000 a year, so it's kinda hard for me to feel for him getting an exemption. Plus benefits.
Yeah.
let me see, this is all,
Our benefits we
we
get.
didn't have the Broward County ones. Well, we could look here, what's this one? The first one updates the county charter for an elected tax collector due to the 2018 amendment that we passed. what did I do there?
Clickety click.
Back, okay. It's just to update the charter to be consistent with what we already passed. That's the first one. Second one, let's see, where's the second one? We'll have to go to the next day or something. Here we are, Broward. We talked about those on the 20th, how do I change them? Broward County ballot question says vote yes relating to Broward County government function reverses the power grab measures by the Florida legislature in 2018 to allow the county administrator to continue serving as an ex officio clerk. It was something that we passed. And then the second one improves the county's ability to make improvements necessary and implement key elements of the 30-year transportation improvement program, which was passed by the taxpayers in 2018. So there was 2 amendments we passed in 2018, but once they passed, then you have to make the language consistent with the charter of the Broward County, so that's why I mean, it wouldn't matter if you voted no or not, because it's gonna pass.
That was part of that petty tax that we.
That was, the second one had to do with that penny tax, but it already passed. Now we have more buses, by the way, and they run on propane. Okay, so.
And our garbage trucks are
so
running
the,
natural gas.
Democrat Party is saying no on that, number 3.
Are these more amendments we're voting on?
Yeah, there's 2 for the county, I have a feeling this is the wrong.
Oh, you're looking them up?
Yeah. This is the wrong year. The ballot looks very confusing. So the first one's called limitation on the assessment of real estate. The third one is additional homestead.
Where'd you go to find it?
Channel 10, local10.com.
Okay.
Amendment 1, Amendment 2, Amendment 3. Let's see. They have the county ones. County ones are just administrative. I don't think they covered them. No, they didn't. That's your amendment update for today.
Okay, question, where it goes ahead and says, do you wanna keep this judge in place, or do you wanna keep this,
Uh-huh.
person in place? If you say no, okay, does that mean that they gotta have an election for that person, because there's nobody
No,
running
they were
against them?
appointed, all the judges for the Supreme Court of Florida were appointed by one was appointed by Jeb Bush, the others were appointed by Rick Scott, DeSantis, and Charlie Crist. One of them, by the name of La Varga, has been ruling against, lawsuits that come against DeSantis, so there's a certain party voting no on La Varga, but yes on all the others. And then, the other one is the 4th Judicial, Court of Appeals, and there's one judge there that's by the last name of Gross, they're recommending no to him. You'd have to research what the rulings were, I didn't do that, I'm just taking somebody else's word for it. But yeah, they were appointed, in both cases they were appointed, so if they get, over 50% no, then the governor's gonna appoint somebody else,
I
which
gotcha.
would be whoever wins the governor race.
And if they're yes, they're appointed, they're in there for their next term?
Yeah, they're renewed for whatever it is, I don't know
Yeah.
how long it is.
Okay.
And once again, what's the web address to learn about judges or?
You can go to ballotpedia.com to learn about that. The judges they can't tell you their party, they can't tell you how they ruled on certain issues. So all you can really see is their background, where they went to school, what charities they support. That's basically all you can see. It's Ballotpedia.
Any other websites we need to know about?
ballotpedia.com, you can also go to both parties, BrowardGOP.com or Democrat, I don't know what their party is, what their website is,
DuckDuckGo, what is that?
let's see.
Search engine.
It's a Rush Limbaugh. BrowardDemocrats.org, so it's BrowardDemocrats.org or BrowardGOP.com.
In Republican?
Broward GOP.
GOP, got it. Thank you.
And then I always go to Ballotpedia because it's pretty much unbiased. They also have questionnaires that they have to fill out, but judges don't. And you can also look up your sample ballot on ballotpedia.com.
Excellent.
See, here's a candidate survey. They ask them questions. But it's like the whole country, so you have to search a little bit. All right, that's your civics lesson for today.
Carolyn, do you know where the rest of the labels are?